Oh, quick swing pass to the right side, and that is Bryson Graves leveled right at about the line of scrimmage.
Ty Goodwill comes up from that rover position to make the open field tackle. Yeah, but I'm with you, Pat.
Any update on Malachi?
He should. I don't know for sure yet. We'll find out tomorrow morning. But I think he should be on track to be able to practice some. I mean, I don't see him being out, but I don't. I'm not a doctor. I'll get more information tomorrow.
If he can't go, I mean, is it Jerido? Is it Wiggins? Or just kind of
both? Both. We'll work both of those guys at center. Work both today, this morning. But again, we'll monitor him throughout the week. He's got a lot of banked reps in terms of having played before as a starter. So he's a guy that might be able to miss certain portions of practice on a Tuesday and come back and practice all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, and be ready to go. So we'll figure that out.
Looking at the film, what did you take away from Saturday?
Just the compounding of mistakes, and just the fact that when you're down 4, the energy and the focus, and us as coaches, we have to help them. And what I mean by that is, we were up 7 at halftime, and you feel great about it. You go 3 and out, they tie the ball game, you shank it off your foot. So obviously 3 and out was bad, shank was bad, giving up a touchdown was bad, then going throwing an interception is bad, and then right there you're down 7. We need to gain our composure. We've marched right down the field. We get down to about the 4 or 5 yard line. We're about to tie the ball game, and we snap it over our head. And then we kick a field goal, and now it's a 4-point game. And when you're in a whirlwind of stuff like that, you've got to, as a coach, we have to pull them out of that. We don't have a 4 or 5 core group of wide receivers that have played 3 years. We don't have a quarterback that has 20 starts under his belt. We have to be the adults in that situation and find some things to be able to tell our kids, give them some things execution-wise to slow it down and make it real simple. That's the most disappointing part, was just the overall response. When things were going bad, our response was not like it's been the last 3 weeks, where we came and fought against Auburn, came and fought against Tulane. It was almost it wasn't a panic. It was just, is this really happening? Yeah, it's happening, and you got to go execute, and us as coaches have to help you go execute. We got to be able to give them some simple things that they can execute in those situations.
How was the players' attitude, morale yesterday and today?
Yesterday I saw them in the weight room. It's individual. It's individual. There's guys that put everything they had into that game and played 60 plays, and they're upset and disappointed in the performance. And there's guys that didn't play a snap, that wore their shirt and their jersey and were on the sideline. And that's college football. I mean, I've been there. I've been on the sideline, and you're the starting quarterback. And golly, you wear it all daggum day and night. You go to class, you see your stuff in the school newspaper, and they're hammering you. And the other kid, he was just happy to be on the sideline, waved his parents. So everybody handles it different. But I would say, by and large, the team understands that we didn't meet our expectation, and we didn't play well when it came time for crunch time. And you get better in those situations the more you get into them. But we have to help them as coaches, and talk to them this morning and explain to them, like, most of the conference champions in this league in the last 5-10 years aren't walking right through their schedule. Yeah, there ain't a lot of 28, 35, 24-point wins. If you go back and you look at some of those App State championships or those Lafayette championships, there's a lot of touchdown ball games. So you better start getting comfortable in tight spots, hot rooms, pressure-filled situations. That's the way it's going to be. When you're trying to be a champion, you're like the Yankees. You're always going to get the best guy on the mound, and you've got to be ready to go. Play those type of ball games that are going to be, clutch. I told them that's the way it's going to be in the Sun Belt. It's going to be like watching the last 2 minutes of an NBA basketball game. It's going to boil down to the crunch time, and we as coaches have to help them in that crunch time. There's not a lot of playing experience. There's not a lot of experience overcoming that situation and winning those games. So we have to step in and be the adults and help them.
North Texas, I know they score a lot of points, but it seems like they've made a leap on defense this year compared to last year. What do you see from them defense?
Yeah, I mean, schematically they've changed. I think by structure, last year it was a little bit 3 safety, bend, don't break, and now it's a little bit more conventional 4-down defense, some 3-down fronts in there, more attacking, more trying to go at getting the ball back, as opposed to, hey, let's just see if they mess up and then they'll punt it to us and we'll put our explosive offense back on the field. It's a little bit, no, we can get some 3 and outs. We can create some advantages on the defensive side of the ball. And it reminds me a little bit of when Baylor, being in that league in Big 12, when Baylor started playing better defense, around the 11, 12, 13 year, as opposed to just, RG3 and just outscoring people. They became a really big problem when they were able to blitz, pressure, get some quick 3 and outs, and get it back to their offense. So I see him move in that direction in terms of what they're doing defensively.
I don't think since you've been here you have made a quarterback change other than due to injury. Was there a thought to that Saturday? Is there any thought to that going forward?
No.
Looking at another guy?
No, not in that situation. I mean, the guy was playing well, missed a couple balls, throws an interception on a glance. I still expect us to go out and play defense and hold him to a field goal. We give up a touchdown. We come back the next series. He marches us right down the field. We get to the 4-yard line. We're about to tie the ball game. We snap it over his head. He does a good job getting on the ball. We come back the next series. It's 21-17. After that they score, make it 28-17. We come down. We miss a field goal. So he moved the ball fine, and then when it got to be a 2-possession game, that's when, you got to be aggressive with the football in that situation. Now, the fumble, that's product of being down 2 scores with less than 2 minutes. So really the first 2 interceptions, what I talked to Bishop about, is we can't have, and he knows that. I mean, he's played the game before. First interception we have, that leads to a tie ball game. Second interception, we're down 8. There's 4 minutes. Whether the play's good or not, doesn't matter. Take care of the football. Let's punt it. We got 3 timeouts left. If the defense does their job, which they will, we got 8. We're down 8 points. Same situation we were in against Tulane, but we forced that issue too early. We had another possession in that game.
So going forward, I mean, Bishop's the guy.
Yeah, he's our starting quarterback this weekend. Yeah, we're not gonna 3-4 weeks into the season make a decision off of that. No, I mean I'll talk to those guys and they understand there's a certain level of production you have to play at. If I felt like we were throughout the night we were making bad decisions with the ball throughout the night, we couldn't hit open people, but by and large some of the movements that he created, some of the big throws that he made down the field to Devin Voisin, some of the things that he did allowed us to stay in the ball game. When we get to the 4-minute mark and we're down 8, we don't need to press. We don't need to press as a quarterback. And, sometimes you don't see guys. And I understand that first interception, but the one with 4 minutes, we're pressing. And we don't need to press. We need to punt, 3 timeouts in 4 minutes. We need to go play defense, get the ball back, and have an 8-point drive.
North Texas scores a lot of points. That's what you see from them.
Yeah, they do a great job. They're going to spread us out. Obviously, the tempo, some things we struggled with last year. We got to look into those things and correct those things, whether it's tempo in the middle of the field or getting lined up to certain situations. That hurt us last year. They got us on a couple of trick plays last year. So just making sure we're staying on top of routes, getting aligned with urgency, having great eyes. Those are going to be the things that are going to give us a chance to win on Saturday.
Coastal had really not scored many points coming in.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see from them? Did they do anything different than what you expected, or was it just – I know you had some short fields and that sort of thing too.
Yeah, we've got to respond better. We got to be mentally tougher. Right now, our biggest issue is stopping the run. You're not going to win a lot of games when you're giving up 6 yards a carry, and that's going to be a big emphasis for us this week in terms of, creating defense. Not creating defenses. That's the wrong thing to say. Simplifying some things to help our guys play faster, so we can fit the run better. That's going to give us a better chance to win football games. That's where it starts, and that's on me as the coordinator to get those things fixed. And so we're going to simplify some things that help us. Number one, get a line faster, which will help in the tempo of North Texas, and also help our linebackers fit a little faster. So that's where we're going to start in getting some of those things fixed. I thought we did a good job getting the quarterback off the spot at times. We just never got him on the ground. We got the 1 sack, and it was really on an intentional grounding that Tyler Thomas got credit for a sack, but we never got him on the ground. There were a couple of times where we had him. There was a play, a P&10 early in the second half where they come out in a wing set to the boundary. They release the tight end vertical. We've got Trey Henry right there at the spot. We just got to finish those types of plays, and that was what it came down to a lot of the other night, was fitting the run and then finishing plays when we had opportunities to.
Myrick was back Saturday. What did you see from him?
Yeah, plays hard, plays fast. He had one play that I don't think I can comment on, but he plays extremely fast and extremely violent. We're different when he's out there on the field, and so we're going to continue to have ways where he can blitz the quarterback and do some things that help us, and I think we're going to be we're better off defense when he's out there on the field.
Just talk about what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously starts with me. I got to do a better job. I got to do a better job of getting everybody ready to go as a group. We got to do a better job coaching and playing, and disappointed. You know, just feel like we needed to score more points at the first drive of the game. We have 15-play drive, and you don't come away with any points. And then, you know, it's kind of, we just got to quit saying the same thing. We got to quit turning the ball over, and we got to score touchdowns in the red area. And that's really the bottom line. And that's our job as coaches to make sure that starts happening.
Attitude-wise, how were they Sunday and Monday? Because I got to imagine they're itching to get back on the field.
Yeah, I thought we went out there this morning and had a good practice. I think guys were flying around. I think they were anxious to get out there and get to work and get better. I think we got some good leaders, and I thought the attitude and the way guys attacked practice today was a good sign.
Like maybe you went away from the run too early in the second half. You know, you came out throwing after you had run it so well in the first half.
Possibly, yeah. I think that's always, you know, one of the passes was an RPO. It could have been a run or could have been a pass. But yeah, I think that's always, you know, you always afterwards, you always go back and look at everything and understand. The second play of the second half was really just an easy movement, easy throw out to the flat, but we just didn't execute it. And then the interception, you know, was an RPO. But yeah, definitely you always look back at it. It's like, you know, second guess things that you did, and yeah, I think you know the number one thing we do the best right now is run the ball, and we got to make sure we keep doing that. But we have to also make some explosive plays in the passing game.
What are the things that North Texas does defensively that's greatest concern to you?
You know, Skylar Cassidy does a good job defensively. He's their defensive coordinator. I worked with his dad years ago. They do a lot of good things just to. They have different answers of how they're going to try to stop the run, different ways they align, different ways they're going to try to pressure you. They're more pressures to stop the run as much as anything. I think they got some good players. Their two inside defensive tackles are really good players. Their two inside linebackers are really good players. So we got to do a good job fitting up and staying on our blocks, and we got to run the ball really well. And then when they go to some of their looks that are all out to stop the run, we got to hit some big plays in the passing game.
You mentioned the running game. You got three guys that are running it pretty well. Like right now, how much of a luxury is it to have three that can get the job done?
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think that way we can keep them all fresh. We, you know, I think some of them have a little bit different style of running compared to the others. I think that's always a good thing too. So I think that's a really good luxury to have right now. We just got to keep all three of them fresh and keep giving them the ball and you know, keep doing a good job of mixing it up in different ways how we use them.
North Texas scheme-wise is different this year, but some similar personnel from last year. From a preparation standpoint, how does that kind of factor in for this week?
It's a lot different. You know, the scheme is totally different. They brought quite a few guys with them from Sam Houston, so both their corners are from there. They're really good inside linebackers from there, and one of their defensive linemen's from there. So, you know, it's a totally different scheme from last year. I think the thing that's similar to last year is they're good on offense. So we got to stay on the field. We got to maintain ball, maintain possession of it, get first downs, and then get points. But we want to keep our defense on the sideline as much as possible, making sure we take care of the football and stay on the field.